So it is true that East Germany, the GDR, that a cornerstone of its propaganda was that it was the state for young people. It would give them the most opportunities and the best futures. And certainly you can say that by the 1970s, people's basic material needs have mostly been met. Think of those as food, shelter, clothing. But desires keep expanding, right? And especially among young people. So for the generations born after the debris of World War II had been cleared away, basic subsistence was very much taken for granted, just like it is in the United States today. Life in the GDR could also be pretty boring. So if you're focused just on these basic needs and making sure that everyone's are met, there's not a lot of focus on the extras, right? The things that make life fun. And so the ruling party of East Germany, the SED, they tried several times to make an East German version of many Western entertainment options. And so they tried to create an East German rock music, East German fashion, or even a couple of East German dances. And each time they do this, though, they end up introducing the new freedoms. They last for a short period of time, and then the authorities end up dialing things back. So there was a very famous example in 1960s, in the mid-1960s, where the party started to encourage young people to take up playing guitar and to start bands. And these bands were supposed to be a lot like the Beatles, right, who were still the most popular musicians at the time. And this went on for a while, but eventually the authorities thought that the lyrics and just the whole general rock and roll attitude was too much. It was drifting too far away from what they considered to be socialist orthodoxy. And so there's an event that's canceled in Leipzig, and there's a demonstration against the cancellation of this program. And it's a huge problem. So there were some bands, for instance, in East Germany that were sort of sponsored by the state, or were approved, you could say, by the state. They were actually given licenses to perform publicly. And these bands were actually quite popular, some of them. Actually, a lot of them still have a following even today. And not just among people who lived in East Germany, but among people who also lived in West Germany, because their music is genuinely good. So 3 of them are Die Pudis, very famous, Karat, and Silly, just like the English word silly. So these bands too, though, even though they had this license from the state, they struggled against censorship of their music. They still had to meet the standards and have all of their songs reviewed, right, before they could be performed or included on albums. And eventually, there develops a system between the bands and their fans, the audiences, where they all kind of get used to listening for these little hints and these subversive messages, a kind of coded language.